Psalm 116 is on the sixth book of the inner wheel of Psalms, but on the sixth cycle, as I wrote them down here. The sub number is 6, therefore it's the sixth cycle. In other words, 6 times 22 is no, I think I'm wrong in this. It's actually the fifth cycle, because it's 5 times 22, it's 110. No, it is true. It's actually the sixth cycle. The sixth cycle, because 5 times 22 is 110 plus 6. So it's on the sixth cycle of the inner wheel of Psalms. And Genesis 28, verse 3, and God Almighty bless thee and make thee fruitful and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if God will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on. And Psalm 116 verses 14 and 18, I will pay my vows unto the Lord now in the presence of all his people. I will pay my vows unto the Lord now. We now come to the 28th book, Hosea. And this is what I had written concerning Hosea. The Hebrew word for fruitful is para, which is the root word for Ephraim. The numerical value is 80 plus 200 plus 5, which is 285. 80 is the value of Pe, 200 is the value of Resh, and 5 is the value of Hey, 285. This would match the chapter of Genesis 28, that is. But the 5 is missing. And also the Hosea, the 28th book. Hosea 5, book 28, chapter 5 mentions Ephraim a lot. Ephraim is the tribe which Joshua belonged to, and to whom the sixth book, the first book named after a man, is ascribed to. Jesus being the antitype of Joshua perhaps means that Jesus will bear much fruit with what he did during his ministry on the earth, and his believers will multiply. Also, Ephraim was focused in Joshua, the 28th book. The meaning of Ephraim is fruitful, and while Joshua 28 mentions fruitful, Ephraim is mentioned later in the 20th book, Hosea. I looked at the word Jezreel, and the root word is Zerah, meaning seed, and El, meaning God. And sowing or seed are related to each other. So Jezreel means God sows, and there are four things: a descendant of the father or founder of Etam of Judah, first son of Hosea the prophet, a city in the Negev of Judah, a city in Issachar in the northwest spur of Mount Gilboa. And in Hosea 2, it mentions, and I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her that had not obtained mercy, and I will say to them which were not my people, thou art my people, and they shall say, thou art my God. See, you notice the common theme with Genesis 28, where it says, then the Lord will be my God. And then Hosea 8, verse 7, for they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. It hath no stock. The bud shall yield no meal, and if so be it yield, the strangers shall swallow it up. And this is something common with Judges 6, where every time the Israelites sowed, the Midianites would come in and destroy the crops. And the land was impoverished because of it. And Hosea 10, verse 12, sow to yourselves in righteousness, reap in mercy, break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord till he come and rain righteousness upon you. And he's talking about a spiritual type of sowing. And this, as I've written, this reminds me of Galatians 6. And notice Hosea is the 6th book of the 2nd cycle, and Galatians 6 is the 6th book of the inner wheel of Galatians. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary of well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. Then I compare Genesis 28 with Hosea. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban to thy mother's brother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padan Aram to take him a wife from thence, and that he blessed him, gave him a charge, saying, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. And Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and had gone to Padan Aram. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau to Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had Mahalat, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, and the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. So look at Hosea 1 verse 2 and 3, the beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said to Hosea, go take unto thee a wife of whoredoms and children of whoredoms, for the land hath committed great whoredom, departing from the Lord. So he went and took Gomer the daughter of Diblaim, which conceived and bare him a son. And Genesis 28 verse 21, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God. So you see the common theme. Hosea 1 verse 9, then said God, call his name Lo-Ami, for you are not my people. And now look at Genesis 28 verse 6. It says, when Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padan Aram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him charge, saying, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Whereas in Hosea 2 verse 2 it says, plead with your mother, plead, for she is not my wife. neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight, and